What's going on, guys, gals, non-binary pals? Artisan Kane here, getting set up for our TPL Season 2 Week 5 matchup against Eddy, coach of the Redwood Roselias. So we're getting started here. If you haven't checked out our preview vid, I'll leave a link in the description so you can see our thought process as we prepared for this one. So there's a team there as we get ready to see what Eddy brought. I definitely expect Lantern, Zororok, Darm. It'll be interesting to see who he decided to leave behind. And let's check it out here. So we got Lantern, Blissey, Zororok, Deblade, Slurpuff, and Galarian Darm. Okay, so Darm probably going to be Scarfed. So he decided to leave Meowstick, which is awesome. That means we don't have to worry about the screens, stuff like that. We don't have to worry about any prankster mumbo jumbo. So we're just going to lead here with Tentacruel, get off T-Spike, maybe 2 levels just to see, as I mentioned in the game preview, we want to kind of take advantage of that. He doesn't have any mons that are levitate, and he doesn't have any removal. So everything outside the blade is going to get hit by those spikes. So let's see how he decides to lead here. All right, Pudding. So that's going to be Slurpuff. Yeah, Slurpuff. So Slurpuff is pretty threatening. Could immediately go for setup like a Calm Mind or Belly Drum type thing. Regardless, we're going to go for our T-Spike here. He might be going for webs or something. So, okay, so knockoff. So that is not Slurpuff. That is, holy cow, that is Zorark. And that looks to be banded based on that damage it did. That is way too much. So, I really don't have anything that's going to take that knockoff well. Shit. Zorarok is also 105 base speed, so it naturally outspeeds everything on my team. Outside of my Scarfed Dracovish. But I don't want to risk Dracovish. So what we'll do is we'll go Arcanine here. We'll take that. Ugh, it still does so much. It'll take our ban from us, but we can get off an Iron Head here. Do a decent chunk. If he switches something else in, we can do a decent chunk. I don't want to click Extreme Speed in case the Blade wants to come in or something. Luminosa. Okay, so Lantern. So Lantern resists that, so that's not going to do well, but we do get that poison off, so that's good. See, I didn't want to click Flare Blitz there because we would have taken recoil damage for nothing. And, okay, super defensive. It is a bulky mon to begin with. I think Lantern, it's like 125 base HP, so that's doing nothing. We'll go into Primarina here. I kind of want to see if it's AV. We can get off. Okay, Toxic. So it's not AV. So Toxic's going to be really annoying. It's going to be putting stuff on a timer. It's lefties. Okay. So lefties is basically going to be canceling out the poison stuff. But what we can do here is anticipating a switch. So we'll go for Shadow Ball in case he wants to go into the Blade. Ooh, he actually goes Blissey, so that's great. We're not going to do anything. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Blissey hard walls us, to be honest. Any of my special attackers can't really touch Blissey, so what we'll do is we'll go right back. No, We can actually go into Dracovish here. And, yeah, because Lantern can come back out for the Vicious Rend, so we don't want to... We don't want to lock ourselves into Vicious Rend. Safeguard. Okay. So Safeguard, I think, means no status, if I remember correctly. So we can try to predict the Lantern coming in here and go for an EQ. He might wait. Okay, so he is switching out. Pudding. That's a Slurpuff again. EQ should hit pretty hard. It does a whole bunch. So I could just go for another Earthquake, but... I think he might double out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch in Arcanine in case he wants to go back into something to try to wall the Dracovish. Oh, he actually stays in. Oh, crap. So that's not great because now we have no recovery for Arcanine. E-Speed here should be enough to knock out Zoroark. Yeah, it does. But that knockoff was pretty brutal. Okay, so that was a really bad play on my part, predicting that switch. If we had hit EQ again, we would have outsped because we're Scarfed. And we would have knocked out Zoroark, and I wouldn't have had to deal with this extra damage that's on Arcanine. Because now Arcanine really can't do too much. Long Claw. Okay. The Blade. So, not great because of that. Exactly. Because of Shadow Sneak, that's going to hurt pretty bad. So, Arcanine down. That's a little bit annoying because Flurless definitely would have taken it out. Obviously, the priority of the Shadow Sneak. So now I kind of have to figure out what I want to do here. I'm going to go back out into Dracovish. I know I've kind of revealed EQ already. So what I want to do is I want to see if we can bait out that Lantern again. See if we can do some damage to it. Because I don't think... a non-stab EQ on the heavily defensive. Okay, yeah. So he actually stayed in. Damn it. So that's another prediction we got wrong there. That's not great. Now Dracovish is on a timer. So we can't stay in. Since we're choice locked, we know EQ is not doing anything. We're basically forced to switch here. He can sit in on that Earthquake all day. So we can try to get a knockoff with Tentacruel. But he can basically spam Shadow Sneak at this point. And we go from 67 to 28. So this next one is going to knock us out. So we're forced to switch again, basically. Not great positionally because he has that priority move there. Now Hydreigon does resist that ghost priority move. So what we'll do is we'll go into Hydreigon. If he wants to just keep clicking Shadow Sneak, Hydreigon can take those. And it's less annoying. Yeah, he's just going to keep clicking that. Because if I'm Eddy, I mean, the Blade basically did its job. So if he can just keep spreading Toxic, then he's fine. So what we want to do here is Dark Pulse and knock it out. We might bait the Blissey out, but the Blissey... Okay, so he does stay in and we get the knockout there. So that's good, but yeah, I mean, Blissey hard walls are special attackers, so that could come back out pretty easily. And what he actually brings out is Darmanitan. So I definitely expect it to be scarfed. If it's scarfed, since we're not scarfed, we're definitely not going to outspeed it. It's 95 base speed, so if we were scarfed Hydreigon, we would have beaten it. So maybe that would have helped if we ran that instead of the scarfed Dracovish, but it is what it is. If he is going to go for the ice move, I can bring out my Vanillux. I wouldn't be surprised if he went for an Ice Cold Crash here. It's a pretty safe move for him. He can, do chunk damage to whoever on my team would come out, basically. Oh, wow. Facade. So that's an issue because we have T-Spikes on the field. Oh, shit. Well, that's GG. That thing can basically run through my team at this point. I really don't have anything that can take that. After that Guerrilla Tactics boost, and I mean, let's see here. Oh, this might force a switch. But even so, I mean, we're not going to be able to take this well at all. Because you've got the Guerrilla Tactics boost and you've got the poison on him, so the Facade is boosted even more. So we actually do outlive that. That's awesome. And EQ doesn't do enough. And we're gonna die to poison here. Wow. So that's pretty brutal. Now, if we look at who's remaining, we have lost all our win conditions. We can no longer beat Blissey. So we basically have to press the emergency button right now. Yeah, we no longer have a win condition to get through Blissey, and Lantern is the other mon I think he has left. So what we're gonna do is we can just Dynamax and max Steel Spike. Obviously, if he decides to Dynamax... Okay, so he actually switches out. See, if he Dynamax, he loses that Choice Scarf speed. So Steel Spike here should be enough to knock out Slurpuff, unless it's I don't know, like the Babiri Berry. But I don't anticipate that. So it's crazy. Slurpuff was the one I was worried the most about because in all our previous matchups and in his previous videos, Slurpuff's usually the one doing the craziness, and we definitely didn't see that Facade Darmanitan coming out, so that's brutal. So yeah, like I said, we get through the Slurpuff. We're gonna boost our defense here. That's fine, but basically he just has to stall out Dynamax at this point. He's got Lantern, Blissey, and then the Darmanitan. So probably either the Blissey or the Lantern can come in and just kind of soak up hits. So he actually goes Lantern. I was kind of expecting Blissey because it can just soft boils in our face. But what we'll do is Max Darkness is going to lower his Spadef. So if I can take a Max Hailstorm, I should be able to take at least one or two because it's a very defensive build he's running. It shouldn't do that much damage if he's going to hit us with the Hailstorm. Even though we are weak to it, it's a non-stab move, and he's not running that much. I wouldn't imagine he's running much Spatak investment. So let's see how much this will do. Probably about 35-ish percent. But it's important we got that SPDEF. What? Starfall. So that's not great. Wow. So what's this thing get? Gleam? I guess it's gotta be Dazzling Gleam. Wow. This, I mean, I really can't be mad. That's a great prep on his part and bad prep on mine. Yeah, he's just going to guard here, stall out the last turn of Dynamax. So, unfortunate. Now we basically just have to click Draco Meteor and see if we can do... So he's at less than half, but he's... I'd say probably about 40-ish percent. The Draco Meteor calcs don't look great. He's not AV, but if he's max special defense, max HP, or even if it's max HP, anything, I mean, Lantern's 125 base HP, so we basically have to click Draco, hope we connect, and see if we get a high roll. Oh, that's brutal. Oh, man. Wow. So that's going to take us out. He's probably going to die of friggin' poison anyways. But now Lantern takes out Hydreigon. So he gets the lefties, and okay, so poison is enough to do him in, but I mean, like I said, we don't have a way to get through Blissey at this point. He can just bring Darmanitan and click Facade. Primarine is not going to be able to take that, and Primarine is not defensive enough to take that. So we'll still go out and, you know, good game to Eddy. That's awesome prep, man. Awesome prep. So if you watch my team preview build, I specifically said he doesn't have any removal. He doesn't have any removal, so we need to get up T-Spikes immediately. He realized that in his preparation as well. He knows his team, so he knows he's got to take advantage of that. Whether he knew I was going to go for it, you know, immediately with the Tentacruel lead, or if he expected something else, it doesn't matter. He knew that he was going to let his Darmanitan get poisoned so it can get these facades off and just do brutal damage. And yeah, there it goes. Late game sweep from Darm. Man, great game from Eddy. Really can't be mad about how it turned out. He's an exceptional player, and I think we're both learning and growing a lot since we joined the TPL, and I'm excited for him for the rest of the season. So until next time, guys, peace.